Hello and welcome back to Age of Empires 2, and I actually interrupt my normal commentary to bring you some breaking news regarding this game. For those of you out there who own the Forgotten expansion of the HD edition, they're actually going to be releasing a new campaign. It's free downloadable content that'll be out in about a week from now. Yes, something I really did not expect. There's apparently, they apparently plan to add 3 new campaigns to the Forgotten expansion, and this is the first one. It's called El Dorado, and it sounds kind of interesting. It's going to involve the new Incan civilization from the Forgotten expansion. I always did wonder why they were one of the few of the new Forgotten civilizations that didn't have a campaign, which makes me wonder... Are the Indians going to be getting their own campaign? They might be. I'm also kind of hoping for a Chinese campaign as well eventually because, there isn't really all that much dealing with the Chinese in this game. And a lot of people say they've got a lot of history to draw upon, so... yeah, that would be interesting to see too. But for the time being, we've got El Dorado, which, to me, sounds a lot like, the premise sounds like the Montezuma campaign that's in The Conquerors. I'll be getting to that eventually. But with the sides reversed, you're actually playing as the Spanish this time. So... sounds interesting, I will say. I mean, the Spanish already have their own campaign, but this one sounds quite different. So, anyway, back to what I was doing. So, where we last left off, we had liberated the city of Orléans and won France's first major victory so far in this war. Things are starting to look up, so we'll move on to the next scenario, the cleansing of the Loire.
June 14th, Orléans. Our rescue of Orléans was a setback for our enemies, but only a minor one. The British still possess half of France. Tragically, we have cooled our heels for weeks while the Dauphin's advisors debate. Joan became irritated with the delay and reassembled her army. She talks of nothing but her mission to drive the British into the
No idea why the text is white there.
The force of Joan's will is titanic. She has gathered to her banner swearing brigands and knaves and turns them into patriots and heroes. Among them is the man Loire. A giant clad in plate mail, he drives men on with curses and fists. There will be plenty of British necks for Loire to break at Patay. Patay is the gateway to the Loire River Valley. The British hold the Loire in a grip of steel, whilst a huge army under Sir John Fastolf devastates the countryside. Joan leads us to Patay to capture the British castles. However, we must avoid Fastolf's army till we are strong enough to face his veterans.
So, our mission here is, once again, we must protect Joan. But, before that, we have to destroy at least 3 British castles. You should probably be pretty scared when you see the words, at least 3. Yes, they have more than 3. So, that is going to be an issue. And the previous mission, we're only destroying 1 castle. Now, we've got to take out 3. And we have a really big threat to contend with as well. This mission, I've personally found, is not that tough once you know how to handle it. If you don't, though, it can really, really trip you up. Anyway, I'll talk you through the main point of difficulty once we get there, but for the time being, again, make sure you have enough ample siege weapons, that's obvious, and this bit, the area across the river and to the east should have plenty of resources to begin your town. This mission is interesting, because they kind of step up the difficulty gradually, and that's probably a good reason why the Joan of Arc campaign is probably the best one to start with after William Wallace. You got first mission, no economy whatsoever. Second mission, you do have to build up your economy, but you already start with a huge city already built, so you have less to take care of. And now, they're throwing you into the deep end. This time, you don't have anything to start with. You have to establish your own base from scratch. And the key to this is finding the right location. One that has enough resources and is both a good enough position to attack the enemy and is defensible. Emphasis on defensible. You really need a good defensible location to dig into in this mission. Believe me, as you will be seeing later on. But for now notice that we have 4 villages right here. Keep these villages alive. If you lose them before you've built up your initial base, you are 100% screwed. Basically, you'll notice that because we don't have a town centre, we can build one. We've got just enough resources to make one, but it's probably best not to build one here. We also have Joan herself, and this guy.
Loire wishes to kill something.
This is Loire. He has slightly more attack power than Joan, but a little bit less in the archer armor. But oh, a pikeman. Yeah, I left a pikeman behind last time I actually did this mission, which was kind of funny. But yes, I have practiced this mission before. But anyway, now your formation will be kind of weird, seeing as you have villages in it. But anyway, Loire is, well, he was one of the commanders of the French army, and you saw him introduced in the intro. Loire's name literally means the Wrath. I believe it's implied the Wrath of God or something along those lines. Yeah, you really don't want to mess with this guy. He, well, was pretty much a complete psycho on the battlefield.
Ships, we can cross the Loire River and deal with any British warships we encounter.
So we've got transports here and these things. These...
The blood on Loire's sword is almost dry.
Yeah, Loire will constantly make a few comments throughout this scenario. They don't really mean anything, so don't really pay much attention to them. At one point, when I first played this... Okay, that was weird. If I cut out there... Anyway. When I first played this scenario when I was younger, that villager is stuck. Anyway, let's just get these 4 villagers onto a transport as soon as possible. We need to make sure that we get our villagers over there first. But anyway, when I first played this scenario, and for good measure, let's put Joan on. We put all our villagers on this one transport. We're going to lose if this thing gets destroyed anyway, so we might as well put Joan on anyway. Got to make sure that Loire goes across as well. Come on, transport. And yes, now when I first played this scenario as a kid, I was absolutely terrified that Loire would eventually turn on you if you didn't give him any enemies to kill, judging by those lines. But don't worry, he won't. He was actually completely loyal to Joan, as weird as it might seem. He was one of the few army captains who was. He completely believed in her cause, and yeah, he was actually one of her closest and most dependable allies, despite the fact that all reports say that he was pretty much a total psycho. But from what we've heard, he was the kind of psycho who you're glad to at least have on your side. But anyway, these ships right here, these are demolition ships. Demolition ships, as you can see, have an enormous attack power. It comes at a price though. Demolition ships are basically petards, but on water, basically. They do enormous damage to any ships they can catch in their blast, but they destroy themselves with, well, one attack. So, these are an okay method of dealing with ships, and you want to be careful though as you're crossing the river here. There might be British warships, but don't let your demolition ships blow up too close to your transport ships, because the explosions of demolition ships, I believe, can harm your own units. Which is why I'm going to move them back for a bit. Now, let us deploy our forces right here. And the knights are out, but, oh wait, you sent... Alright, they're all behind those trees, okay. Transports, go back. It's going to take quite a few trips to get across. Eventually, we'll be able to increase our transport capacity with dock upgrades, but for the time being, we'll have to make do with what we got here. Yeah, in a later campaign, we'll be getting much better transport ships. A certain civilization has really, really good transports, so you guys get on here. Now, you probably want to keep your pikemen alive, because your pikemen are going to be very, very important later on. But while I'm sending these troops over, let's move these guys. Now, something interesting here. If you have a combination of both, also it may look like this is an island. It's not. Oh, crap, ship. Okay, I think we've dodged him. Yep, that's a British war galley. We'll need to avoid those as we make our way down the river to find a decent site to build. Now, we found a road here and some shallows. Let's get across here. Our troops should have arrived on this side, so let's send our transports back. Our current forces here should be enough to deal with any small enemy patrols that we encounter, but we want to make sure we keep our villagers alive. Anyway, like I was saying, when you move a combination of both military and civilian units in one group, they actually have a unique formation known as the Horde formation. And High Tower, let's get those guys away and take it out with our knights and heroes. Right, that is a scout cavalry there. You'll notice that it is orange. If we check our diplomacy settings, you'll notice that we've got 3 enemies. Burgundy, who are again, well, burgundy coloured. The British, again, who are red. And Fastolf's army. They're the one you really need to be careful of. So the fact that one of their scouts knows about us is actually really not that good. But we need to take this thing out. If we get into close range with it, it can't actually shoot down at us because they haven't researched murder holes yet. But anyway. Now, we need to move into this area right here. And what the heck, we may as well bring our sheep along. Oh, wow, lots of sheep. You know, that's weird. When I last... Wow, a lot of sheep. Okay, this is strange. When I played this scenario last, all these sheep were gone. I wonder if Fastolf's scout actually got to them first. He very well could have. But anyway, as you can see, we've got some sheep here. We have lots of trees, we have some gold, and if we explore up here, we have stone. This here is the ideal location to establish our initial base. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and do that before someone steals our sheep, because I have a feeling that they actually did in an earlier attempt at this scenario. This looks like an ideal location for the town centre. Especially next to all those nice, juicy sheep. Yeah. Wow! Speaking of nice, juicy sheep, look at all these! We've got... See, this is weird. Okay, I guess coming here quickly really is good because those sheep were not here when I did my practice run. Okay, High Tower, we probably need to take this thing out. Burgundy has kind of a smattering of towers all around the map, so, okay, you guys head over here to protect our initial base from any enemy attacks. See, it was weird though, because I didn't have all those sheep, I was initially going to talk to you about the fact that while this location does have very good sources of wood, gold, and stone, it's a little lacking in the food department. And usually I find you have to resort to farming and fishing early on, and... Okay, getting a bit ahead of yourselves there. This is an excellent location to start chopping wood, but for now, food is more important. You can chop wood, but the other 3 are gonna have to go, get us some nice, roast mutton, because, we're going to need food to get more villagers. Because, yes, we are establishing a base from scratch. Okay, Scout Cavalry, you come here. We've got a job, I've got a special job for you, but for now, we'll just regroup our whole army over here, because this tends to be where we get attacked from. Now, our transports have pretty much served their purpose, so I can basically retire them for now. Archers regroup with the rest of the army, and we're going to have to play defensive until we can build up enough of a base. Speaking of building up a... Holy crap! Loire, you said the blood on your sword was almost dry. Go ahead and get that guy's blood on your sword. Yeah, you can go ahead and kill that guy. He's kind of gone. But anyway, right there. And guess what? Wonderful! Oh, it's been a long time since we needed to build houses, right? Yeah, back in Orleans, in fact came with more houses than we would ever need. Here, nope. Here we've got to build our houses from scratch. Yep, oh joy. Okay, let's get a whole bunch of these. We actually need quite a lot of houses just to support our initial population. But because houses are relatively cheap, let's just go ahead and build up a whole bunch of them just to start with. That is 9 houses, so 9 times 5 will give us 45. And that's probably enough for the time being. Well, enough for extra villages. We don't really need much else of an army than we already have. But anyway, now, the thing is, we actually want to start stone mining as soon as we can. And yeah, there's a good reason for that. We want to build up our defenses as soon as possible. And I mean walls, I mean towers, I mean the whole defensive shebang. Really. I really mean it. You are going to need to dig in. But first, while we're just building those houses up there, I'm going to go exploring with my scout cavalry. Because it's absolutely vital that you explore, well, not so much vital, but it's a good idea to know in advance where your enemies are going to be coming from and where you'll need to attack them. There's a whole bunch of castles on this map, and provided we don't get too close to them, let's see, we've got, okay, British outpost, right, we're getting close. Once we find a road, we can basically follow that road to all of the castles, but for now, speaking of which, here's the road. So, let's just follow this road this way. And already found one. Now let's head back, because if that castle sees us, our scout is in serious trouble. Okay, we have enough houses to fully support our population, but we'll need a little more to make more. Following this road. So yeah, kind of nice to multitask and explore while your villagers are working on other stuff. Come on, another house should be done pretty soon, shouldn't it? Oh wait, there's some British soldiers! Don't you steal my sheep! I saw you running away with that sheep there. Hey sheep, come back here. Come back here. Come back here. You're gonna feed the French up. I saw you there! You're not stealing my sheep on my watch. Aha! There we go. Got it. Yeah, I kind of want to harvest from these sheep pretty quickly before the enemy steal all of our sheep. In fact, I should probably get someone to guard them just to make sure. Anyway, let's just... Don't you fight that guy, you idiots! Oh, I swear the AI in this game sometimes. Anyway, you are going to keep exploring. Eventually we'll encounter this complete and utter confusing mess. The roads kind of crisscross all over the freaking place here, so it can get a little confusing knowing which one to follow. Oh, 2 towers, right. That is not good, but at least we know there are some enemies there. So, generally you only need to find just a couple of buildings to get an idea of where the British encampments are. That's a deer carcass. They've already started hunting, which is actually... There's a bit of an interesting thing regarding deer and this mission regarding what happened in the Battle of Patay historically, but I'll get onto that a bit later. It's actually pretty hilarious, but anyway. Moving on, what's up here then? This is looking a little suspicious. And towers! So, we've got another thing there. Right then, let's see what we got back here. You are finished with the houses. And because of that, we've got quite a lot of... Okay. I'm going to actually get a whole bunch of villagers on food duty. But you there are actually going to start mining. I'll put a mining camp roughly in between... Nah, mining camps are relatively cheap. I'm going to build one here. We're going to start on the stone. The reason why is this villager is going to be our dedicated builder. Hi, longswordsman. Yeah. It is really vital in this scenario that you advance in age quickly, because your enemies are going to be getting to Castle Age technology very fast, and we are currently only in the Feudal Age. However, in order to advance to the Castle Age, we need 2 buildings from our current age. Those towers are now upgraded, okay. We need 2 buildings from the Feudal Age. And the thing is, as useful as a barracks, a dock, and a mill are in this mission, and you probably will definitely want to be getting those buildings, They are Dark Age buildings, not Feudal Age buildings. So we want to get things like a blacksmith and a stable up as fast as we can. Have we explored enough here? There might be another garrison down there. Who are being attacked by? Okay, they're dead. Okay, so very soon we'll have probably enough food to pretty much settle us for some time. Right, we've got... Ah! What's going on there? Holy crap, get out of the way of that scorpion! How do you guys get up there? Anyway. Okay, Scout. You go exploring this way. Yeah, this is the mess of roads I was talking about before. Seriously, this thing is just so confusing. I have a feeling this road's going to end up in some shallows. Yep, called it. Right. Let's see if we have any British or Burgundian encampments this way. Big hill here, outpost. The road gets all dirty here, but we can see walls. And where there are walls, there are castles. So, yep, good thing Scorpion is down. Excellent. Very soon these villages will be out of sheep, but we've got a lot of food. And because of that, let's go ahead and I can hear arrows. That's just a scout, nothing really to worry about. Let's get our good wood chopping economy going. Now, you want to make sure that you chop, if you are to be chopping wood, it is down the lower part of your base, not the upper part. Because all of your attacks are going to be coming from the upper part, and these forests can serve quite well as natural defensive barriers. So, we're going to need to keep these forests. You there are going to build me a lumber camp. Ah, the sheer irony of not having enough wood for a lumber camp. Oh, gotta love it. Oh shit, okay. Right, that should not be a threat to us at this point. Now, eventually, see, these sheep are not going to last us forever. Once we've got all the shit. Now, this way I think leads to the Burgundy base, and I don't want to go there now. Let's regroup back at base scout. You did better for yourself than in the practice run. In the practice run, that scout actually died because I got a little too close to one of the castles. But anyway, oh, we're actually a little lacking in the wood department. So, okay, I know that lumber camp is going to cost us a fair amount of wood, but it's probably more productive in the long run to get one. But if we need some extra food, we're probably going to have to resort to fishing on the river. And it's at this point that I don't have enough wood. Once I get 150 wood, I'm going to go and build a dock. Because that could... Where's a... Oh, Burgundian Tower. That's probably not important. Let's just go down here. And right then. We're pretty much set for this point. You guys... Actually, you're going to go ahead and start... Not a house. Mining camp. Wood choppers, work faster. Come on. Come on, wood choppers. You know you want to. Almost there. You are not doing anything. You chop wood. Okay, just 3 more wood. Come on. Okay, good enough. Right. Build there and start harvesting me some gold. You probably have enough stone for our purposes at this point, because it's time to get started on our fortifications. Yes, that's right. If there's any tips I can give you in this scenario, it is to make sure that your town is walled off as soon as possible. I'm just making sure there are absolutely no gaps in this wall, because if there are, you will know. Trust me, you will know. Anyway, we also need some more stone for the castle age when we get castles. Walls are extremely quick to produce, so you'll want to get... They're quite quick to get up, but you want to build these as fast as possible, because, well, you'll find out eventually. Let's just say it has to do with that guy, Sir John Fastolf, who, as you can see, is now setting knights against us. He'll be setting a lot more than knights later on, believe me, but for the time being... His knights are still pretty scary. Come on, get that wall up. Okay. We've got to just make sure that there are no gaps in this wall. I cannot stress this enough, because again, if there are gaps, and good, he's going around the other way, isn't he? Let's just see. Oh, that's bad! There's a gap there! Let's just see what happens if I build a wall here. Yeah, you always have to be testing your walls for gaps, because if there is a gap in your walls, the AI will find it and they will exploit it. Trust me. So good, we've got a wall, we've got that there. Hopefully that is not a... I just did not tell you to chop wood. I told you to build the wall. Eventually we will have a wall here, and a wall all the way around there. We need those, trust me. Are you serious? Those fish are just out of your reach! Tis beyond my reach! Anyway. Wow! Wow! Okay. In that case, change of plans. We're going for a dock. And we probably have enough wood to start farming, actually. So you guys are going to head back to base and start building some farms. Because now that we've exhausted our sheep, pretty much our only sources of food throughout the rest of this map are going to be fishing and farming. Of course, the Franks are very good at farming, so no, we don't have wood for fishing ships. Fishing, well, you already kind of saw a little bit in the William Wallace campaign, but what the heck are you doing? Wow, you pursued an enemy very far. And speaking of which, you there. Can you get back in? Please tell me there's no gap in that wall. Okay, good. If you're going the long way, that means that there is, in fact, no gap in that wall. But I'm going to have to build a gate here. There we go. That's good. That gate should work. Just so that we can actually get in and out. Once this is done, again, wall here, wall there. We are really going to need those. But now I believe we have enough wood to start building fishing ships. 2 of them. But oh well. And I'll just start fishing around here. Now, eventually, you won't just need fishing ships, you'll need to build a few galleys to protect your fishing ships. Because the British will definitely be sending, you go down there. And I have one more villager than I do farms. Right there. Extra villager, go on stone mining, actually. Okay, we've got a fishing ship, they're going to start gathering fish and bring them back to the dock. The moment we have enough wood to do so, galleys are actually reasonably expensive. They cost 90 wood and 30 gold, but they are very useful for defending your fishing boats, and we're going to need a few of these now, because yes, the British have warships, and once we get to the next age, we'll probably want to upgrade our galleys to war galleys. Now, yes, the Franks are very good at farming, so our food should come in at a very nice rate. Let's get wheelbarrow to make our villages even more efficient. You have completed the gates. Congratulations. Now, build me more walls. More walls. We cannot have enough walls. Seriously. Wall. There we go. Once we get to the Castle Age, it'll be very much in our interest to upgrade these walls to fortified walls. Because yes, we really need to defend our base, especially this side. This wall are going to be... Oh, there's just a swordsman there, I thought there was... And we got a galley, right. Galleys are not that strong, but at least they're better than nothing for defending your fishing ships, which I'm going to do. Guard fishing boat. Eventually we'll have to move to around this point in the map. This point here has some very nice fishing spots, so I would recommend going there eventually. Now, how is our wood chopping going? I'll get that to make wood chopping faster. Can I make gold mining faster? And making stone mining faster would certainly help me in the long run too. Speaking of stone, okay, that wall's half done. Again, you... guard fishing ship. Actually, guard the other fishing ship. And we have actually maxed out our population, so you there, you're gonna need to build me some more houses. More houses, more houses, more houses, more houses, more houses. Loads more houses. Okay, he's going to help with the houses, but no, I do not want that. Instead, they already have pikemen. See, okay, we really, really need to focus on advancing in age. Cavalry don't charge the pikemen. You are idiots. Fortunately, we've got a lot of archers. Archers tend to be the best thing you have against pikemen, so let's just ignore that scout for the time being. You there, you are going to build me a wall. A wall right here. I know that's a very small wall, but it is a wall nonetheless, and it will help us. We've got a lot of food and gold. Okay, so our food and gold situation is almost pretty much set. I could probably get myself some extra fishing ships, but I don't think I need to at this point. Our wood and stone are a little lacking, so it's probably time to get on the wood chopping a little bit. And the stone is only lacking because I just moved all of my stone miners over. You two, we actually don't need as much gold, so go here, deposit your gold in that mining camp and start mining stone, because eventually we'll need to build castles. Yeah, this mission starts off very defensive, like a lot of missions do. It will get more offensive eventually once we've built up, but until then... Have I mentioned how much I love this track in the soundtrack? I'll say it again, I really do love this soundtrack. I mean, this soundtrack in general is pretty amazing, but okay, now I believe our population limit is actually 75, so these two houses are useless. You are gonna build me a gate, just in case we need to exit the base that way. This gate's probably gonna serve us well, but I'm a little worried there's a gap there, but right, that guy's... Yeah, basically, you'll know there are no gaps once enemies stop getting into your town. That's when you know there are no gaps. Now, what we want to do here is... Actually, I think I can do this a little more efficiently than I did in the practice run. In the practice run, I had to build a wall all the way around there, which was probably would have cost a lot of stone. So instead, what I'm going to do here is... I am going to barricade these shallows with a wall. Which I'm probably going to need to do in 2 goes, because, yeah. Oh, shit, okay, right, see, these are going to go after that thing, but that's a war galley, and they're just mere normal galleys, so that could end badly. Where are we being attacked? Ah, they only have a regular galley? Okay, another regular galley, alright. Oh, we lost a fishing ship. You run. I said run, you don't look like you're running very much to me. Okay, these two probably have the galley covered. Now I'm going to replace that fishing ship. Actually, towers in general are a pretty good defense against ships, especially later on, but for now, you, on a completely unrelated note, are going to build me a barracks. I know this is not going to help us get to the castle age, but it is, at the very least, these farms have not run out of food. You know what? I need a mill just so that I can have a reseed farm queue, because let's just be honest, who wants to hear that farm expired sound every, you know, it gets really, really annoying. Yeah.
Hey.
Finish this wall going this way. No, I said go. Sometimes it's a bit hard to get walls to go where you want them to go. And you've just walled yourself out, haven't you? Okay, there's a good way to fix this. Manually command them to move to the other side, then build the wall. Yeah, villagers can be pretty dumb sometimes unless you tell them explicitly what to do. But at this point, actually, they could still get through there. If we go over here, what we could do is we could get this. We could just wall here. And then wall there. That sounds like a... Actually, we won't even need to wall there. What am I thinking?
Hey.
Now, I'm going to need to build a gate to get him back in, but for the time being... Okay, I don't... Speaking of the farm exhausted sound... Farm queue! Queue farms! Queue lots and lots of farms. That is basically the only reason I just built this mill, but, anyway. You are going to need to build a gate in order to get back in. Oh, hey, you can make that entire wall segment a gate. That's perfect. Right then, we got that. Barracks is done, and he got in. Okay. Was he already in? I think he was already in. Even if this wall series isn't perfect, it's still... Even if they are actually getting through, they're only going to be getting through in very small numbers, so it's not really going to be that big of a thing anyway. So, you are now going to build me a stable. This will help me advance to the next stage, so I'm definitely going to want this. But now that we have this, I'm actually not going to be needing men-at-arms that much, because I prefer, for this mission, you want spearmen. Lots and lots and lots of spearmen. Spearmen are your friends here. More specifically pikemen, but you want spearmen. Believe me, you want spearmen and pikemen. For reasons that will become very much apparent later on. Now you are going to go ahead and build me a blacksmith, because I could use an archery range for getting to the next age, but archery range is not going to be as good in this mission specifically, mainly because, well, I much prefer with the Franks to counter British longbowmen with knights as opposed to skirmishers, so I tend to prefer barracks and stables in missions like this, and wow, you are very badly hurt. But I can't heal you until I get into the... Well, that's not technically true. Well, it's easier to heal you once I get to the castle age. Incoming warship, you better be ready. Actually, speaking of which, I might get some more galleys just in case. I think it's almost dead, actually. And I hear sword noises. Okay. Anyway. Oh, there's another scout. Died there.
Oh yeah, theft.
Okay, well, we got a lot of food. Might actually be beneficial to get ourselves a market, just so that we can trade resources, because we've got a lot of excess resources that we probably don't need as much of. And finally, it's Castle Age time. So, yeah, very, very useful that you get to the Castle Age as soon as you can. After you've built up a good amount of defenses. You really want to be building up a good amount of defenses. Trust me. Trust me, you really, really want to. You really, really want to. I cannot stress this enough. Because as you'll be seeing eventually, these walls are really, really going to help us fend off something that, well, you'll see later on. Almost done. While we're at it, let's go ahead and get some better armor. We've got the resources for it, we might as well. And that's useless because we have no allies, that's useless because we're not going to be sending tribute, and that's useless because we have no allies. So really the only thing with the market is to buy and sell resources, and wow, wood is going cheap on the market now. Ships, okay, that's fine. It's not like it doesn't mean any enemies got through our defenses. You guys... Oh, right, the scout somehow got through them. How is that possible? Okay, he's going to be dead in a few seconds anyway. 1 HP! 1 health! Really, 1 health! Yeah, he's not going to be getting out with all these walls. So, hey, at least if it... You dumb fishing ships. You dumb fishing ships. Go fish there. In the Castle Age. I think I'll call this a part after I've got to the Castle Age, because that sounds kind of like it right there. Okay, we're almost there. And here we are! Castle Age! Excellent! We now have access to knights, we now can upgrade to pikemen, we now have better technology than the blacksmith, we can now create siege weapons. Everything is good. So, with that, I will see you again.
He thinks this peasant girl should go back to her sheep.
I thought we'd be hearing about that soon. Take that as a bit of foreshadowing. And how did you get through? Oh. Next time, I fix a potential gap in my defenses, And we deal with Sir John Fastolf, probably the first really challenging opponent in the campaign mode. And now it's time for Ye Olde Fact of the Day. The Spearman. Now, Spearmen didn't really play that big of a role in this part, but their upgraded form will play a huge role in the next one, and I kind of want to cover the base form before the upgrades, so I'm covering Spearmen here. And I kind of wanted to cover Spearmen early. They're a fairly basic unit type. Spearmen are available starting with the Feudal Age. They are the first unit from the barracks that is not the basic swordsman line, so I guess they're the first real variety you have when it comes to foot soldiers. Spearmen, well, spear users basically. One particular advantage of spearmen is they don't cost gold, unlike swordsmen. They only cost food and wood, which are much more renewable than gold is, and in that way, they're, again, quite valuable in very, very, very long games when gold becomes really hard to find. Spearmen, however, if you look at their stats, they seem to be pretty pathetic. No armor, only 45 HP, and an incredibly low attack stat. In fact, it's equal to a villager. And this is the Feudal Age, mind you. So why would you ever consider using Spearmen? Well, Spearmen are another one of those dedicated counter units. Spearmen have a massively higher attack score against cavalry, to the point where they are capable of inflicting damage far beyond what their cost would suggest. Spearmen are the go-to guys if your enemy is using a cavalry-heavy army, especially knights. Knights are very, very dangerous, but they fall very easily to dedicated cavalry counter units, like I've said before. Spearmen are the first ones available. They're also quite good at fending off early... Of course... Yeah, just cutting myself off there. The only cavalry available in the Feudal Age are Scout Cavalry, which actually aren't that strong. But Scout Cavalry do at least pose a decent amount of threat to archers, and sometimes your villagers if you let them get that far. And because of that, Spearmen are quite good escorts for archers in early ages. It's starting in the Castle Age that you really start to see more of the more powerful cavalry that Spearmen are really useful against. But by the time that happens, there's an upgrade available for Spearmen, and I highly suggest you take it, unless you're playing as the Turks. I believe the Turks are the only civilization in the game that does not get the Pikeman upgrade. They're stuck at Spearmen. However, they do get the full camel line, so at least that makes up for it in the anti-cavalry department. So yeah, aside from countering cavalry and not costing gold, Spearmen are kinda terrible. They're weak against swordsmen, they're weak against archers, and they die very horribly to anti-infantry siege weapons. Very horribly. Emphasis on very horribly. Believe me, you don't want to get these guys hit by a mangonel, trust me. So, yeah. It's best to use these guys if you know you'll be facing a lot of cavalry. If you don't, they're of pretty limited use, but if you are, they're insanely useful. So, another one of those units that tends to be more useful depending on your opponent. And now it's time for the history lesson. The medium infantry of medieval armies were often spearmen wearing half armour, usually a helmet and armour on the upper body. As the Middle Ages advanced, the role of spearmen became more important. Armies learned to employ large formations of spearmen as a counter to heavy cavalry attacks, because horses would not charge home against a bristling wall of spear points. Spearmen were most effective when emulating the ancient Greek phalanx, a dense box of men that could extend several spear points in a chosen direction. As towns grew in importance towards the end of the period, they fielded large contingents of trained spearmen. They were very effective in battle for the cost of their equipment and training. Spearmen were originally deployed in a defensive posture, but the best of the spearmen armies, such as the Swiss, Scots, and Flemish, learned to maneuver and take the offensive. They were often paired with gun-carrying infantry, and these formations were used to great effect during the later Middle Ages.